Okay, so I spent today mapping out Mars in Aries transit for two reasons. A, that it's in Aries, meaning it will be meeting with Chiron, and Chiron is the key, literally. Its symbol is like a key, but it is the key to our individuation, to key to us becoming our most emancipated versions of ourselves. And it's in Aries, so Mars will be touching it and meeting it, but also because in Aries it will be squaring the Pluto and Saturn in Capricorn, and also making kind of a touch point with 22 degrees in Capricorn, where we had the Saturn Pluto junction in January. And then as I was mapping out, as always, then I discovered something third that was and fourth actually, that was particularly exciting. So I have five things, or four things really, to kind of share and to hopefully excite you too about. So first and foremost, when Mars entered Aries on 29th of June, it formed what it's known in astrology as the blessings, or the blessed aspect or kind of formation with other planets. So it's called Kite. So that Kite is basically a grand trine, and in this case it was an air grand trine. So it was a trine between Saturn in Aquarius, Venus in Gemini, and Moon in Libra. So it's an air grand trine, and then Mars was in Aries, opposing this Moon in Libra, but also forming a sextile between Saturn in Aquarius and Venus in Gemini. And it's almost like the most harmonious, easygoing, flowing aspect there is. Is a trine. Plus, if it's a grand trine, it's even more amazing. And then more flowing, more supporting, more easeful. It's like a big wave, but a gentle rolling wave, but still a wave that it's unstoppable. That kind of energetic vibration with a grand trine. Although a wave is maybe not the best, maybe frequency, because it's air signs are in a play here. And then you bring in this fourth planet, which then creates the Kite. And the fourth planet acts as like an activator. It kind of breaks up a bit of this flow, but in a wonderful way, in a way that it kind of makes it exciting, makes it dynamic, but it's supportive. So it's all so supportive. It's like the best aspects all jammed in one. So that's the entrance point of Aries in Mars in Aries on 29th of June. So it's like to say, this journey is blessed. And yet the journey is quite treacherous as it goes through Aries, or continues to go through Aries. It's quite rocky because it's squaring Cancer planets, and we'll have Mercury in Cancer, we'll have Venus in Cancer, Mercury is retrograding in Cancer, and we still have Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter. They'll all be, Mars in Aries will be squaring all three of them, and there will be a couple points when it's opposing Libra Sun, and just Libra Sun, or 1 point rather. So Kite was, so the first thing I wanted to say is that the journey is blessed, but the journey is treacherous. So the first difficulty is Chiron. So the biggest advice I can, advice I can give you is that follow the scent of your anger. Not as a way of just, going on a rampage, obviously, but as a way of telling you that you are doing what you don't want to be doing. It's an obvious thing, but I don't know. I think we don't remind ourselves enough. We're trying to understand what's the expression, like the sacred anger or something very spiritual about it. And I wonder sometimes whether we are kind of like, transmuted into something nicer or something higher, right? Even not maybe just nicer, higher. But I wonder, I don't know, I don't speak for anyone else. I know that I certainly, when I do that, or I try to do that, it's a form of, a bit of anesthetic, a bit of numbing, a bit of bypassing, shortcutting something, So I would say this time around, if you can, just follow it, go where it takes you, but in a sense of what it is that you don't want to be doing, what it is you're letting yourself down. That's why we feel angry, not at anyone else, but because we are compliant with what other people are. Well, we're compliant with other people, the way they treat us. We don't stand our ground. We don't cut cords. We don't leave. We don't say no. So all these things are going to be so important to be saying, to be doing. And being Chiron there, it will be so painful to do that. You will feel, you will dread, you will be rejected over and over again. But that's good. That's right. Because if someone rejects you, you know, it's their right. They can do that. And we just need to strengthen the backbone of just backbone being Capricorn. So the square, natural square between Aries and Capricorn is here at play, even when we don't have planets directly, and we will certainly have them. But even when we don't, it's when you're in Aries, you always think of what is here the challenge. The challenge is the square, and the square is between Capricorn and Aries. And it says, have a backbone to actually be kicked out of a party, of a family, or a group or something, or, you know, just let them turn their back on you. Have a backbone, because you stood your ground and you spoke your truth. And even if it's a truth that you will change in 2 weeks' time, at that point in time, you spoke it because you didn't fear the rejection. That's the key. You did it because you didn't fear the rejection. So that's what Chiron conjunct, Mars in Aries conjunct Chiron. And that will be happening in July. I don't know the exact date, but it will be around mid-July. Mid-July, and it will be at 9 degrees Aries. So if you have any planets at 9 degrees of Aries, or any cardinal sign, which is either Capricorn, Cancer, and Libra, this is going to be so important, this message, to just... So when you have those 4 points, those 4 cardinal points or signs that are going to be triggered by this conjunction between Mars and Chiron in Aries, what they're saying is, you have Cancer to say, be gentle with yourself. What we do wrong is we're constantly gentle with other people. We just want to nurture others. We want to be mothering others. We want to be supportive of others. We want to be seen as supportive of others. No, Cancer is be your own. Not in a selfish way, but in a way, well, yeah, in a selfish way as well, but as a virtue, right? If you follow me, you're familiar that this is my language. Because, and if you think of Cancer as a sign, okay, it looks like, crab. It's a crab thing in the water, right? But actually it also looks like hands holding yourself, like you're embracing yourself. It is really all coming down to the self before you can be about anyone else and any other, right? Libra. So that's the Libra. Libra in its highest expression is not about codependency, it's not about compromise, it's not about balance, the way not so evolved Libra frequency vibrates, which is to be controlling in doing these things, or to control via compromise, via codependency, being so nice, therefore you control people, because what can they do to you if you're so nice to them? So that's the lower vibe of a Libra. But Libra wants the balance and the equality and fairness, but from individuals. There is no good Libra without Aries. And Aries is all about me, me, me. And there has to be me, fully me formed. That's Aquarius, emancipated, fully formed individual. But this Aries has to go through the whole zodiac to get to the Aquarius. And Aries, okay, I'm going to go on off too much of a tangent now. But the point I was making is that during the Mars in Aries, we have other 3 points of the card of the big square, so Capricorn and Libra and Cancer, to support us and to not to remind us to go back to the old way of doing all of those archetypes, as I just said, right? Cancer is not about family and mothering and nurturing anyone other than yourself. Libra is not about controlling others with all the loveliness and all the pleasantries and all the balances and all the harmonies and, just understanding another. No, it's about allowing the other to be who they are and demanding or, cultivating full expression and freedom of expression while being together. There's no reason not to be together. Rather, why not be together, but not on the expense of each other. That's Libra. That's high Libra. And then high or higher expression of Capricorn is like, be your own authority. Have a backbone, like I said earlier, to withstand rejection. But be your own authority. That's the key. It's not about being authority towards other people. Yes, if someone here watching this or listening tomorrow is seeing me as authority, yeah, my moon in Capricorn will like that. Definitely. But I need to, at the end of the day, when I go to bed and fall asleep, or before I fall asleep, I need to feel that I am proud, or I feel good about what I've done. I feel like I've done it within integrity. I've done it competently. I've done it well. Even if no one else thinks that. Yeah, you won't like it if no one else thinks that. It's, yeah. But it will not matter if everyone else thinks I've done it right, and if I don't feel like I have, it really doesn't matter. So that's Capricorn, and Moon in Capricorn native here speaks from experience. You need to really, Capricorn is about being your own boss, being your own authority, being in integrity with yourself first and foremost. So these are the three other points that are saying to then Aries, yes, be yourself, be brave, be courageous, be a pioneer, go on your own first. Don't worry about if anyone's following. And this is a good metaphor for social media. For the age of Aquarius, it's all going to be online. Even more so maybe than now, fully computerized and AI or whatever else. It's not going to be about wanting followers. People will follow for a while and then will go off on somewhere else. But your motives need to be selfish in the sense of like, for you, what it is that you want to do, claim it, own it. So that's good Aries. That's Mars in Aries who will be asking us to do that with the support of all other points I just described. But another thing I want to throw your way is to just consider that Chiron spends the most in Pisces and in Aries. I think it might spend in Aries a year longer. I'm not sure, don't quote me on this, but it's about 8 years. And the shortest time it spends in Libra and in Pisces. I meant in Virgo, God, sorry. What does that tell you? I don't know. To me, that says when it needs to sit somewhere for so long, the lesson is so critical, and yet it's so hard because it needs that longer time to actually, for us to learn it, for Chiron to teach us the lesson of Aries and of Pisces, but that's a separate conversation, not for now. And what is the lesson? And it's the shortest in Libra. We know, everyone knows Libra. Everyone knows how to do Libra. All the, societal laws, judgment, like law, legal, that's Sagittarius, but it's also Libra. I mean, it's a scales, it's a judgment, sitting in courtroom. Who's right, who's wrong, So our society is Libra and Capricorn, but it kind of encrusted now, gone too far. This is like the South Node in Libra and Capricorn. That's where we are in our world. And we had South Node in Capricorn recently, and I think Pluto's South Node is in Capricorn. Forget about that actually. So what I was going to say, but no one knows how to do Aries. No one knows how to do. Everyone is terrified of coming across too angry, too bossy. I mean, women, are they meant to be, or rather they're conditioned, typically speaking, across the board, generalizing here for sure, but I certainly know that I felt like that my tomboyishness, natural tomboyishness, a non-feminine gracefulness that I don't have, physically speaking, is was made ashamed. I was made to be ashamed or to feel ashamed because I didn't have it. So, sorry, I'm going off on a tangent, maybe a little bit too long now. But so Aries, we don't know how to do. So having Mars and Chiron meeting there is to say, it's like giving us courage to do Aries, even when it hurts, and it will hurt. And it's the kind of hurt that's like, oh my God, I just can't bear it. Oh, it's just, please don't let me feel that. Please don't let me feel that. And yet with Mars there, we'll say, come on, you can do it. You can do it. Do it. Just, you can do it. So that, please remember that just this, what I just shared here, just please remember that. Don't let yourself be made smaller or to feel, don't be compliant in mistreatments of yourself. Don't be compliant. Don't agree with the way others treat you. And this is not comment on anyone. Everyone's treating everyone most of us the best we know, and it's often shitty because we have our own crap we haven't dealt with. We don't know exactly what crap is mine, what's yours, so we just go by or go along with the way things have been done for centuries or for decades or for months, however long we've known someone, or and all that. Meaning there's no judgment here. I'm not saying anyone is bad to anyone, but the point is, if you are not happy with the way other people treat you, don't be compliant. Mars in Aries with Chiron there in July is your lesson, top lesson. Then in October, this is a throwback. Actually before then, I just wanted to say that in September, it's when Mars goes retrograde on 10th of September at 28 degrees of Aries. Now, why I'm emphasizing this, enunciating, is because 28 degrees of Cancer is where we have a new moon, where the portal of the eclipse season in summer closes. It closes on 20th of July at 28 degrees of Cancer. And that point is squared exactly by Mars stationing retrograde in September. Those moments in astrological weather and patterns or whatever are about emphasis, are about repetition, are about reminding you of something. Hey, there was this thing happening there. Let me just make sure that you have got it right. Have you done the work? Have you completed the lesson or whatever? So be mindful of what's happening around this new moon. Not this, there is a full moon in Capricorn and then there is a new moon in Cancer. So the new moon in Cancer, be mindful of that. And also when you're setting intentions for the new moon, incorporate some of this courage, this bravery, this I will not be compliant, and incorporate the Cancer that's also emancipated. What's emancipated Cancer? Cancer that is, let's say me, right? How would I do my own Cancer placements, or just how would I do Cancer? I'm my own mother. I nurture myself. I meet my own needs. I make myself happy. Or rather, A, I do all these things, but B, I know what they are. And if I'm in a relationship with someone, I can ask them and tell them, this is what makes me happy. I mean, if you'd like to, maybe you would like to do the same with me or for me, and then we can have you have even nicer relationship. Meaning you communicate your needs. You don't play games like, if I blink this way, then she will know that, should know that I, need this or the other. So when this new moon in Cancer happens on 20th of July, just make sure that you do incorporate that kind of self-nurture, self-care as a statement of self-love, of self-respect, like that's a Capricorn being integrated in Cancer, or the two being integrated, I mean. So that's another point I was going to make. And so then in October and in December, we have a fantastic throwback to this whole new chapter we're all in now, which is the Saturn-Pluto conjunction in January, just now, 12th of January, like 22 degrees Capricorn. So Mars will first, while it's retrograde, so in October, while it's retrograde, will square Pluto exactly at 22, and Pluto will be stationing direct. I think, let me just double check. Yeah, exactly. So as Pluto stations direct, Mars at 22 degrees of Capricorn, Mars will square it, and within days, Sun will catch up with a degree, 22 degrees of Libra, and will have an opposition and two squares. So very tense. And this is another call to this Libra relationships, a reminder that if we want to be grown-ups, Capricorn, we need to really be done with the old Libra style of relating, which is all the stuff I mentioned, codependency, compromises, pleasantries, surface stuff, yeah? I mean, surface stuff, there is place for it and it's wonderful. I mean, absolutely. But not, like I said, there's place for it, but it's, as long as it's not just used as a hiding facade behind which we hide, or as a control mechanism, then when it's that, then it's not good, to put it plainly and simply. So Mars in Aries is therefore saying, and in this particular sort of setup with all this tension between Pluto and Libra, is saying, because it's in Aries, because Chiron is in Aries, because Chiron is the midwife of our individuation, right? That's why this Aries archetype is particularly driven, and we need to be following it because it's spending so much time with Chiron. Mars is about be this selfish individual, but do it virtuously, virtue as a virtue, right? Meaning it's not an attack on anyone, it's not harming anyone, it's just looking after yourself, like I say. And that was that. And the last thing I wanted to say, yes, that actually in January, all this, so when it moves to, on 7th of January, we'll leave Aries, and it will come into Taurus, and it will, within days, I think 20th of January, it will join Uranus. So that's like, first it was joining Chiron, and Chiron is the bridge between Saturn and Uranus. And then all this work that I've been talking about is been done by us, right? And it joins Uranus, the planet of freedom, the planet of emancipating us all, or emancipating the individual. So this is like, consider this also like almost like the Fool's Journey in Tarot. It moves from, it goes through the whole zodiac, or rather the whole major arcana. And this is where it meets its liberator, maybe the Star card, which is a Uranian card, or maybe just even the Magician or something. But yeah, so that's like almost like the grand finale. It's like if we've done the work, we have a pass into Uranus world and world of Aquarius, the age of Aquarius. Okay, that's it. So yeah, I'll be back with some more at some point soon.